Mr. Wright here, and welcome to this film in which I will work my way through these standard form exam questions. This is perfect practice for you if you're going for a grade 4 or a grade 5. You can download the questions by clicking the link in the description. Then you can work on the questions before you watch the film, or you can work on the questions as you watch the film and work alongside me. If you find the film useful, hit like, leave me a comment telling me so. And of course, if there's anything you want a hand with, tell me in the comments and I will certainly respond. Right, let's get on with the maths. Question 1. Right, we have to write this large number in standard form. So it's obviously going to be 2.84 times 10 to the something. Now, how many powers of 10 would I need? It's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2.84 times 10 to the 9. 2.5 times 10 to the 4 minus 4 is an ordinary number. And I'm going to move the point this way, 4 places. One of those places will be over the 2, so then it'll have to move 3 more places. So it'll have 3 more zeros, and then the digit 2 and 5. So it's 0.00025. I don't know why I wrote 4 there. Should be a 5. Question 2. Write 9.32 times 10 to the minus 5 as an ordinary number. Well, one hop, and I'll need to make 4 more, won't I? So I'm going to have 4 zeros after the point before the 932. Work out 3 times 10 to the 5 minus 4 times 10 to the 4. Give your answer in standard form. Well, I'm going to put this straight in my calculator. 3 times 10 to the 5 minus 6 times 10 to the 4. When I press equals, that gives me the answer 240,000, 240,000. So in standard form, 2.4 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, now this is a bit more tricky. I've got to work out 3 times 10 to the 55 times 6 times 10 to the 65. And this time I can't really put that on my calculator because my calculator won't be able to handle these large powers. So this is what I have to do. I have to put it in a different order and think about it as 3 times 6 times 10 to the 55 times 10 to the 65. Oh, now wait a minute. 3 times 6 is 18 times... And remember, if I'm doing something to the power of 55 times the same thing to the power of 65, what do? I add those powers. So I'm going to have 18 times 10 to the power of 65 plus 55, 10 to the power of 120. So I'm tempted to say that that is my answer, but it's not quite, because that's not in standard form. If it's going to be in standard form, it has to start with 1.8. So it'll have to be 1.8 times 10 to the power of 121, because I've taken a power of 10 from here, so I'd have to add it back on to there. Let's move on. Question 3. 76 million in standard form. 7.6 times 10 to the what? 10 to the 7. 5.4 times 10 to the minus 4 is an ordinary number. Well, it starts as 5.4. One hop, I'll need to do 3 more. So the decimal point, 3 zeros, and then the digits 5 and 4. Put a naught in front of the point. Question 4, right, this is an ordinary number. Well, one hop takes me, it's 8.4. One hop takes me over the 8, so I'd need 4 more hops. So there's the answer. Now, oh, it's another one of these. Look at this. 6.5 times 10 to the power of minus 40 times 8 times 10 to the power of 185. Well, I'll have to write that as 6.5 times 8 times 10 to the power of minus 40 times 10 to the power of 185. 6.5 times 8, I can do that on my calculator. 52 times 10 to the power of, remember, add those indices, 10 to the power of 145. Now, 52 times 10 to the power of 145, that's 5.2. I've taken a power of 10 from the 52, so I have to add it on. So the answer in the standard form is 5.2 times 10 to the power of 146. Question 5. Write this number in standard form. Let's have a look. Well, we're going to have to start it with 8.9, aren't we? Now, what do I have to do to that 8.9 to get it back to this? How many hops would I need? 1 to get over the 8, and then 4 more. So I'd need a total of 5 hops in that direction. So it's 8.9 times 10 to the minus 5. 8.34 times 10 to the 4. Well, 2 hops will take you over the 3 and the 4. So then you'd have 834. But then you've got 2 more hops to do. So my answer is 83,400. Question 6. The table shows the population correct to 2 significant figures of each of 6 countries in April 2016. Okay, there we go. There are the populations of Hungary, Mexico, Thailand, Nigeria, Singapore, and Egypt. Write 9.3 times 10 to the 7 is an ordinary number. Okay, 1 hop to get me over the 3, and then I'd have 6 more hops. So 6 more digits, 6 zeros. 93 million. Which of these countries have the least population? Well, which one of those is the smallest number? Well, it's going to be the one with either 5.7 times 10 to the 6 or 9.8 times 10 to the 6. And of course, it's going to be 5.7 times 10 to the 6. So the question is, which of these countries? So the answer is going to be the name of the country, Singapore. Okay. The population of China was that. The population of India was that. China, India. Work out the difference between the population of China and the population of India. Well, which one's larger? China. 1.382 times 10 to the 9 minus 1.327 times 10 to the 9. Now, I think if I was doing this in an exam, probably the first thing I'd do is see if I could work that out on my calculator. 1.382 times 10 to the 9 minus 1.327 times 10 to the 9. Press the equals button, and I get the answer 55 with 6 zeros, 55 million. So all I need to do now is to put that in standard form. 5.5 times 10 to the 7. Okay, that is that question done. Question 7. The table shows the volumes in cubic kilometers of 4 oceans. Okay, Arctic, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and there are the volumes. Right, this is an ordinary number. Well, I'm going to do 7 jumps, aren't I? 2 jumps takes me over the 1 and the 8, so I've got 5 more jumps. So it's going to be 718 with 5 zeros. Calculate the total volume of the 4 oceans. Well, I'm just going to add them up. And I think I'm going to add them up on my calculator. 1.88 times 10 to the 7 plus 3.10 times 10 to the 8 plus 2.64 times 10 to the 8 plus 7.18 times 10 to the 7 equals. And here's the answer, 6646, and then 5 zeros. And it doesn't say give your answer in standard form, so that's my answer. Part C, the volume of the South China Sea is that. write this number in standard form, okay? 9.88. Now, how many times will I need to multiply that by 10 to get it back to that? 6 times. Question 8. Write this as an ordinary number. It starts as 7.8, and I need to move the decimal point 4 places that way. One jump gets over the 7, so it would need 3 more jumps. So that is my answer. And part B, well, I'm afraid to say, I've just put this in my calculator. Use the fraction button, 5.6 times 10 to the power of 4, plus 7 times 10 to the power of 3. And then on the denominator, 2.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3. And press the equals button. Gives me the answer 225 with 5 zeros. And it this time says give your answer in standard form. So 2.25, and what would I have to multiply 2.25 by to get it back to this? Well, I'd have to multiply by 10. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2.25 times 10 to the 7. Question 9. The table shows the populations of 5 countries: China, Germany, Sweden, Fiji, Malta. Work out the difference between the population of China and the population of Germany. Well, China's got the biggest population because it's times 10 to the 9, so it's asking me to do 1.4 times 10 to the 9, the population of China minus the population of Germany. So I'm going to put that into my calculator. 1.4 times 10 to the power of 9 minus 8.2 times 10 to the power of 7 equals, and I get the answer 1318. And then how many zeros? 6 zeros. Now look at this. Give your answer in standard form. So that's going to be 1.318 times 10 to the power of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 10 to the power of 9. So my answer is 1.318 times 10 to the power of 9. I'm going to rub that out so I've got a bit of room to look at this next one. Given that the population of Fiji is 1/8 of the population of Sweden, work out the value of K. What is the population of Fiji? Population of Fiji is 9.1 times 10 to the 5, and that is 1/8, a certain fraction, of the population of Sweden, 9.9 times 10 to the 6. Well, to work that out, I'm going to have to work out how many times the population of Fiji will divide into the population of Sweden. 9.9 times 10 to the power of 6, and I'm going to have to divide that by 9.1 times 10 to the power of 5. And to the nearest whole number, that's 11. So the population of Fiji is 1/11 of the population of Sweden. And so the value of K is 11. I would have thought that that part B was a very tricky grade 5 question. And let's have a look at the last question, question 10. Write 5 times 10 to the 4 as an ordinary number. 5 with 4 zeros. Write this in standard form. It's going to be 6 times. 6 times what? 10 to the power of what? Well, I'd have to jump over the 6. That's 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 more places. So 10 to the power of minus 5. Now what about this one? Work out 4 times 10 to the power of 512 divided by 1.6 times 10 to the power of 700. We're ending with a very tricky grade 5 question here. we're going to have to do the 4 divided by 1.6, which gives me 2.5. Now, the 10 to the power of 512 divided by 10 to the power of 700. 10 to the power of 512 divided by 10 to the power of 700. Remember, when you divide, you subtract the indices. So I'm going to have 10 to the power of 512 minus 700. 10 to the power of minus 188. So my answer is going to be 2.5 times 10 to the power of 188. That is a tricky question to end on, and that is the end of these 10 past paper questions, grade 4, grade 5 questions on standard form. Hit like if you found the film useful. Leave me a comment and tell me so. And if you've got any questions, or if I can help with anything as you aim to secure your grade 4 or 5, leave me a question in the comments, and of course I'll respond. Thanks for watching. See you in the next film.